I just saw this a funny couple of tweets before we go on to David Eby's take on Venezuela, which is completely unsurprising because, of course, he would align himself politically with Maduro and he hates oil anyway. So we'll get into his comments. But I just saw this tweet from Tristan Hopper, who writes for the National Post. And it was in response to somebody with a screenshot of David Eby saying he's starting to look like the state of the province. And again, I'm being petty, but then Tristan Hopper posts, "Good morning, Mr. Premier, sir. A court just gave voting rights to bears and claimed you said they could do that. A bear delegation is waiting in the lobby." Yeah, because why not?
Why not?
But let's roll the clip of David Eby responding to the renewed push for a west-west pipeline in the wake of, well, the Americans seizing control of Venezuela's oil patch.
Premier's direct response to Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, basically underlining the events in Venezuela as, she says, emphasizes the importance that we expedite the development of another pipeline. So how do you respond to, Danielle Smith, pointing to the events in Venezuela as a case for another pipeline to BC's coast?
Sure. Well, Premier Smith has her MOU with the federal government. She and Prime Minister Carney will work on that. I believe that one of the core requirements of that MOU needs to continue to be that there is a private sector proponent that's willing to pay for that. In the 5 to 7 years that a new pipeline will take to get built, assuming a proponent can be found, British Columbia will have no fewer than 6 LNG export facilities reaching final investment decision and beginning construction, worth tens of billions of dollars to the Canadian economy, thousands of jobs. And to be blunt, I think that we should be discussing how we strengthen our country by using our resources and developing them here, including the potential for a refinery here. So if the proposal from Premier Smith is that tax dollars should be spent, given the low price of oil, to build that pipeline, I think we should have a serious conversation about whether that's the best use of tax dollars. I don't think it is. I think we should be developing resources for Canadians, and we should be developing resources for export. And that's why I would be supportive of discussions around increasing refinery capacity here in Canada, if the plan is to use tax dollars. We've got a pipeline behind us that is not at capacity, that could easily be expanded. That's not the topic of conversation for some reason, but it could be.
As if he'd let us expand that pipeline. But the province of Alberta, actually, I'll let you guys react to that, because the province of Alberta launched a website yesterday to debunk the lies we all just heard there. But I'll let you guys react.
Did they? Well, no, what I hear David Eby saying is, no, Alberta, we're not going to let you explore your pipelines through our province while we have all of these other federally funded projects that are on the way. David Eby is being territorial and proprietary on an industry that exists outside of BC, and he's showing his unwillingness to operate in good faith here, I think.
It's almost anti-Confederation, what he's saying there. And a lot of Albertans are going to say, well, what is even the point then? Go ahead, Michael.
I didn't really realize there was a business case for LNG. At least I was told there wasn't one.
Right. Right.
So why is he building these LNG plants? David Eby is in trouble right now, and politically, and he understands it. He knows it. So right now, a 5-point larger lead in the polls, he wouldn't be talking about development. He wouldn't be talking about any of this stuff. But he knows he's up against the wall. To his credit, he understands how hated he actually is. Mm. So now all of a sudden he's talking about things that might, the idea of, they've talked a lot about interprovincial trade. And I agree it has to be done. But we don't make our money off ourselves. It's like taking in each other's laundry and doing it. Basically, right. We have the world's largest market below us. Right. The biggest market in the world. And for some reason, we're thumbing our nose at it. It's because we believe we're morally superior to it. We don't need them, whatever it is. It's the dumbest move by provincial, and it's more than one provincial premier and the prime minister, basically just, I'm not sure why Carney is jetting all over the world when he should be in the US right now. And Eby should be working at getting things done. Like, I don't believe there's still so much regulation on getting these LNG plants built. I doubt they'll be built, right?
No.
As long as we've got the Liberals in power and the NDP in power in BC.
Right.
So
well,
it's a pipe dream.
Right. And there's one thing that these people who say we need to increase refining capacity here forget, and that is that our customer doesn't want refined product.
Yeah, that's right.
Our customer has refineries built to deal with Alberta heavy crude. And so those refineries need feedstock. We are the feedstock. They don't want refined product. Those pipelines are not for refined product. And so when I see people say, like, we need to focus on refining at home. Okay, but I live in Upgrader Alley. I know a little bit about, refining. This is where I am. My son builds refineries. But that's not what the world demands right now. They want our feedstock for their refineries that are tooled for our product. And we are in a precarious situation right now, although it'll take a while for Venezuela's oil field to get up to snuff. I mean, they're dealing with decrepit infrastructure and just a complete and total lack of investment. But the Americans will move fast because they want it and they need it. And those refineries are okay to handle Venezuelan heavy oil also, because it is heavy oil as well. So that is something that Albertans need to be aware of, Canadians need to be aware of. But just moreover to the point on this, yesterday, incidentally, the Alberta government launched a website to host information about a proposed pipeline. And it's called the Northwest Coast Oil Pipeline, because there's no actual pipeline that's been proposed. It's a central hub for project information updates and to ensure transparency and open dialogue. It includes a section dedicated, I guess, directly to David Eby, to debunking myths such as statements that construction has begun, that the province is paying for the project, and that a route has already decided. So all they're doing is spending $14 million on early planning work, but the aim, of course, is for a private sector company to take the lead and Indigenous partners to come on board. And we don't have a problem getting Indigenous partners on board here in Alberta. Northern Gateway was an Indigenous partnered pipeline. They just wouldn't let us build it. And the province says it plans to have an application ready July 1st to present to the new federal major projects office. But where the monkey wrench in all of this is, with the federal government and BC being as, I don't know.
Obstructive?
Yes,
obstructive.
Yes.
Obstructive, I guess, as possible. Who's going to invest in us when you have Venezuela right now, where you will be backed by the Americans to get the project done? Yeah.
It makes Canada a pretty hard choice.
Yeah.
When deciding who to do business with. You're going to do business with the guys that take 10 years to do anything and hold you up in regulations and bankrupt you before you even start? Or are you going to go with the one that can give her?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's something that I read this morning. I'm not sure if it's true, but I think it might be. Venezuela is not that far. Matter of fact, they say in this article that basically Venezuela is closer to the refineries in Texas than we are from Canada to Texas.
Yeah, for sure.
So, people think that Venezuela is some far off land. It's not. Basically, it's the very northern tip of South America.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Olivia, could we look at a map? Could we look at a world map together, all of us, just real quick?
I'll tell you a little story. When I was flying home from Brazil and trying to get out of the climate change conference required me to fly across the country, like from west to and then down the country all the way to Sao Paulo and then back up. I had to fly into Punta Cana for a couple of different reasons. But one of them was the airspace over Venezuela was closed. So I couldn't get any closer. I had to go the other way. And I guess that was the Americans at the time doing their little operations, prepping for it. But it is a lot closer than we think, by the way. Anyways.
Right.
Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's scary. And the thing is, at least your comment that basically it's a hard decision for people to make not to invest in Canada. It's actually not. It's an easy decision.
Yeah.
They take a look basically at the regulatory environment that we have. The government doesn't want investment. The instability of our government, or basically if the Conservatives do come in and then the Liberals come back in, whatever money would be invested would be lost anyways, because the Liberals would cancel this or take something over or whatever the heck they would do. And then you've got the Indigenous factor where ultimately they've got to, depending on the government involved, they've got to approve, or there has to be basically a consultation with Indigenous groups. It's just hard to build things here. It's just very difficult to do things here. And so basically for any company looking at a jurisdiction to invest their money, Canada's not top of the list. It's a real easy decision. It's way too complex to do business here. And that I hate saying that, but that's the truth. Capital is very mobile. It'll go to where it's respected and wanted. And basically it's not wanted here. For some reason we'll just do it ourselves. Because we've got, Canadian know-how and BC know-how. We don't have that. Right. So we've got a little bit of it, but why not take the world's know-how and do things properly? We're in a really, really tough state, and most people don't realize this is going on because their food shelves aren't empty yet.